What was he doing that he stood still long enough for his opponent to go, come here. It's like, run away! You've got all this time!
He was eating a turkey leg.
I feel like my hero has turned into a real villain of the piece. Well, this is on a separate layer. Feel free to do with that what you will.
Alrighty.
I'll leave this guy here. Bring on part B. It can be anything you want. It could be Kermit the Frog if you want.
I think I want to go with the Oni theme. Some young Japanese boy kamehameha-ing his beans out the door to get rid of the demons. So this is going to be the Oni getting hit by the beans. Try and figure out these controls here. I haven't actually used a touch-sensitive Wacom tablet. I usually use the ones that only register the pen. But okay, so it looks like I can move it around like this. I can rotate here, make it bigger or smaller. That's pretty intuitive. All right. So I'm just gonna do some basic lines to get an idea of how the energy is flowing. Our Oni here, taking this energy blast to his gut. It's a little hard to imagine what getting hit by an energy blast makes your body do, but
yeah,
we'll work with it.
That's one that I also think I'd like to ask the animator to show us.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Here, stand there. I'll give you
Come here.
Okay, so we got this leg here. Okay.
I watched a documentary when they were interviewing Toriyama. I think he said something like there was a day when he discovered the impact is proportional to the amount of the body that goes forward.
That goes forward?
Because
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Impact,
the opposite direction.
Physically, you are actually moving backwards, but the body just looks like bits of it are being flung forwards, I guess.
Yep.
I feel like we have a similar way of sketching as well.
Oh, really?
We mark out the joints, like the knees and the elbows and the shoulders.
Yeah, you gotta get your key points, right?
Something I really want to try soon is filling out the volumes with a paintbrush.
I feel like if you get good at it, it probably is a quicker way to go about things, but I tend to always kind of come back to like a more linear style. I think it also might be that Japan in general is more linear, so if I was in America, I probably would have switched more to the silhouette. Sometimes you have a silhouette and you kind of don't really know exactly what's going on inside of the silhouette. Probably people who are good at it, with experience, they kind of intuit what's going on. Alright, so let's see here. The body's kind of a bean, right?
What an apt analogy.
Well, it's from, what's his name? Proko.
Yep. That man can do anything. We're in such an